Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. As was mentioned in the description, the dough balls right now are soaking in the syrup for Mystical Munchies, so we're still going to have the taste test for that a little bit later. In the meantime though, let's kill some of that time off. We still have most of 2.5 hours left on the dough balls and the syrup, so let's play a little Marvel Champions by Fantasy Flight. Marvel Champions is a living card game where you get dumped into the Marvel Comics universe controlling a hero in same, trying to defeat a villain. In this case, our two heroes, we've got Aurora Monroe, who flips into Storm, but we'll see her flip side a little bit later. Hand size of 6, 10 HP, recovers for 3. Mutant keyword, she begins the game with a weather deck, and then I feel a storm coming, setup. Choose a support from the weather deck and put it into play. Actually, we're going to go to... I'm looking at her hand, so I think here we're going to go to... I think we're going to start off on Thunderstorm instead. So each character is going to get +1 attack, and as a special, deal 2 damage to the enemy. So we don't resolve the special now. Teaming with her today is going to be Black Widow, who starts on Alter Ego side, Natasha Romanoff. Recovers for 3 HP, hand size of 6, 9 HP, recovers for 3. Mission Prep is her special ability. Response, after you play a preparation card, draw 1 card, limit once per phase. This is my mission and I will succeed. Okay, so that's what she's dealing with. What we've got to deal with today is we are taking on Absorbing Man for the first time. Schemes for 1, attacks for 2. And Absorbing Man gains the trait of each environment in play. You know I beat Thor once? Picture that. Crusher Creel standing over the God of Thunder, and you think you scare me? Schemes for 1, attacks for 2. The scheme that we put out, or the scheme that we have to play against, is None Shall Pass. Forced response. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, place a delay counter here. Forced interrupt. When an environment enters play, discard each other environment card in play. And if this stage is completed, the players lose the game. The environment we got when we set up was the metal environment. We won't go through what it actually... Well, forced response. After Absorbing Man makes an undefended attack against you, discard 1 resource icon from your hand, 2 instead if there are 5 or more delay counters on the main scheme, which we'll be using dice. We'll be using dice to represent the delay counters. Actually, we can use these tiny dice for quite a few things. But I think we are all set to get into this game, so let's jump in. Storm, or Aurora Monroe, will be our first player. Let's see, she doesn't really have much for setup to start with, so I think she'll flip into Storm. So let's take a look at Storm as she flips. Hand size of 5, 10 HP. Weather control is an action. Swap your weather support in play with a support of your choice from the weather deck. Resolve the special ability on your weather support in play, limit once per round. Alright, so we will start off with having her attack for... We'll start off with having her attack for 3 because Thunderstorm is in play. So each character gets +1 attack. So in this case, Storm will attack for 3 to bring him down to 25. Then she's going to use a Power of Aggression, which is a max 2 per deck, and we can double the number of resources this card generates when paying for an aggression card, and we are. We're going to play Piercing Strike to deal 3 damage to an enemy, and the attack gains Piercing. Discard any tough status cards from the target before dealing damage. So that'll bring her down to 20. That'll bring Absorbing Man down to 22. Then she is going to use her... She's going to use her weather ability to swap this for... to go to Clear Skies. And then we get to resolve the special on that, so she'll draw a card. Okay, that's not terrible. Then, let me just check something here. Choose a non-elite minion. Okay, so that's not going to be that helpful. But what we are going to do, and what we are going to do here, is we're going to use Torrential Rain. Actually, we're going to use Into the Fray and Hit and Run. Yes. to pay for another piercing strike to bring him down to 19. Then we're going to use Weather Goddess. Meandering Mike, how's it going? We're going to use Weather Goddess to switch over to Blizzard. Even though it's not going to affect Absorbing Man, we do get the -1 attack, and I don't think Natasha Romanoff's going to do any attacking this round. So that's it for Storm. Let's go over to said Black Widow. Actually, did I lie about that? And I think the answer is no. So we're going to pay an Inspired and a Moxie to play out a Grappling Hook. That's a preparation card, and her special ability is sensitive to that. When you reveal a Treachery, discard Grappling Hook, cancel the effect of that Treachery, and discard it. Bozamoy, Black Widow. And I don't know if that's French or what language that is. I'm guessing French. But we do get to draw the card from her preparation. Okay, that's actually pretty much terrible. I think I am not happy with that hand at all. So and Band Together isn't going to let me generate any resources whatsoever. So that is extremely unfortunate because I don't control any allies. Storm and Black Widow is an interesting team up. Well, I kind of wanted a little break from Phoenix. I was playing a lot of Phoenix on the channel, so I figured I'd give Storm a little bit of screen time. And I really do not like Natasha Romanoff's hand at all right now. So I think we are going to call that a turn. So everybody's going to go ahead, ready up. Storm, let's look at her hand. Natasha's probably going to be discarding. Storm is actually happy with her hand, so she's going to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. See what we get here. Okay, I don't completely hate that. I just mostly hate that. Coming over to Natasha Romanoff, though, she is going to discard 2 cards and draw 4. She's going to discard her 2 Band Togethers because we don't have any allies in hand. Okay. This might be a little bit more helpful. All right, and then we're into the villain phase. So we put 1 threat on Absorbing Man on None Shall Pass, which will bring us up to 1 threat. There's another thing I want to grab here for just a second, just a quick reference, so I make sure I have everything straight. Keywords and icons. That's definitely one thing I want. But I'm also looking for I'm looking for a full timing of the round, just so I have all of that straight. Player card anatomy, which of course it's not in here because that would make too much sense. Let's see if it's in the Learn to Play. They probably don't split that many hairs on the timing. Actually, one other place where it might be, I've got a few of the Caseling cases of the cards for Marvel Champions because I do have everything for this game that's currently been released. Let's see. Mission tracker. Here we go. All right, just a quick reference I can keep off screen. So we've got the 1 threat. He's activating against Storm to attack. She will he's attacking for 1 right now because of Blizzard plus the card. She'll let the attack come in. So she's getting attacked for 1. Plus 1 is 2 damage. So Storm takes 2 damage. She does have to discard a resource icon from her hand. She will discard. She'll discard You'll Pay for that. And then he's scheming against Natasha for 1+ card. That will be 2 and a boost. If Absorbing Man has the Storm or Wood trait, you're stunned. He's got Metal. So that's another 2 threat on the scheme, going up to 3. And then we'll deal out encounter cards. And Storm here will draw, once I get it flipped over, Stall Tactics when revealed. Oh, and we also had to put a delay counter on the main scheme, which again, I'm using dice for that. So I've got a 1 for a delay counter. When revealed, place 1 threat on the main scheme for every 2 delay counters on the main scheme. None are going to be placed because we only have 1, so that's going to gain Surge, which means Storm now has Omnimorph Duplication. When revealed, if he's got the Metal trait, give Absorbing Man a tough status card and heal 1 damage from him. Delightful. So Absorbing Man now has tough and heals 1 damage, bringing him back up to 20. And Natasha Romanoff draws a Hydra regular, Insight 1. When this card is revealed, place 1 threat on the main scheme. When you consider the kind of person who would join a terrorist organization bent on world domination, it's easy to see why Hydra's troops don't impress. Jessica Drew. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that right now, but we will bring the first player token, my cool Cthulhu token, which I used on the Arkham Horror files, if you're familiar with that. That will bring us over to Natasha Romanoff, and that is our turn. So, let's go. What do we want to do here? We've got that Hydra regular, which Storm can probably take out on her turn. Let's see, how much damage does she do when she flips? Right, she attacks for 2, so that would be enough to ping the tough status card off, and she's got to be in hero form to use Grappling Hook anyway. So never mind that plan. Let's go with 3 resources. We'll pay a Get Ready, an Inspiring Presence, and an Inspired to play out the Synth Suit. So Black Widow gets +1 defense, and a hero response after you trigger the ability of a preparation card you control, exhaust Synth Suit to ready Black Widow. Then I'm going to flip Natasha into Black Widow. So 2s across the board, and Widowmaker response. After you trigger the ability of a preparation card you control, deal 1 damage to an enemy. My name is Madam Natasha, but you can call me Black Widow. She will attack Absorbing Man to ping the tough status card off of him. And then that will do it for her turn. Then moving over to Storm's turn, she's going to start by using her weather effect, by using her weather to switch us to Thunderstorm. So each character gets +1 attack, and then the special effect will go take out the Hydra regular. Let's see, then what do we want to do here? Now that we've pinged that tough status clear, I think we'll pay Moment of Truth. We might want to clear the 3 threat from a scheme, which I think we're going to do that. So we're going to pay a Moment of Truth and a Wolverine to play Torrential Rain to remove 3 threat from among schemes in play. So that'll bring us back down to 1. And then Hurricane is not in play, so we don't get to resolve its special ability. Sorry to rain on your parade, Storm. Then she's going to attack Absorbing Man for another 3 to bring him down to 17. And then she will be done, and we'll go into get ready for the villain phase. So everybody's going to ready up. Let's see, Black Widow is 4 costs. She's going to discard Winter Soldier and then draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, this isn't completely terrible. Storm is also going to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, what does she have in hand? Yep, she's going to draw 4. Okay. I don't completely hate this. All right, Absorbing Man gets 1 threat on his turn. He's going to be attacking both of our ladies. Black Widow will... She's going to defend this attack because I want to be able to protect her hand. He's attacking for 3+ card. So she's getting hit with a boost, Ball and Chain to reveal this card attached to Absorbing Man. Hero action, spend a combat resource to shuffle this card back into the encounter deck. So unfortunately, that is attaching to Absorbing Man, which means Black Widow defended for 3, but she takes 1 damage out of that. And then he's attacking Storm as well. Storm is going to have to defend this. So he's dealing 3 plus 2 is 5 damage. So she defended for 1, took 4, and I'm not sorry at all to see her obligation go away. Storm is probably going to have to flip, and unfortunately I can't ready her to heal her, but I can get her on... I can at least get her on Alter Ego side. Let's see what we've got for encounter cards. We've got Icy Grip. So Black Widow's stunned if he has the Ice trait, which he does not. So Black Widow's stunned. And Storm as a Hydra Soldier. Yikes. It's got 1, it schemes for 1, attacks for 2, does 4 damage. While this minion's engaged with you, you can't attack the villain. When it's defeated, deal to the engaged player an encounter card. Gross. Right, so that brings us over to Storm as the first player. Now we've got a bit of a problem on our hands because I had to exhaust both of our ladies to defend against those attacks. Well, what we can do here is we can pay a Power of Aggression to play out a... Actually... You know what? I'm actually an idiot because I could have actually stopped the Icy Grip from causing problems for Black Widow. No, there's actually a lot more dangerous cards than Icy Grip. So I'm actually going to leave Grappling Hook for that. So coming back to Storm, she's going to pay a Power of Aggression to play a Clobber and hit the Hydra Soldier for 3 damage. We're going to put a damage die on Hydra Soldier. So he's got 3 damage on him. We deal 3 damage to an enemy. If this is the first card you've played this round, and it is, return this card to your hand. If I have to hit you again, you'll stay down for good. Gamora. That comes back to her hand. Then we will pay... the Torrential Rain, and I don't want to use the... I'm not sure I want to use the Clobber here. We might have to, though. Yeah. Let's pay the Torrential Rain and the Clobber to play out Storm's Crown. Storm gets +1 thwart, and as a hero resource, we can exhaust Storm's Crown to generate the printed resource on your weather support. I'm going to use her weather ability to switch us over to Stalwart, or to Clear Skies, I should say, which is permanent. Each character gains Stalwart. So now, because we need 2 cards of the same status effect for a status to take effect, Stunned drops off of Black Widow. Special ability, Storm draws a card. Okay, I'm probably gonna want that for next turn. But Storm is going to flip into Aurora Monroe because I need to heal her next turn pretty badly. So that'll do it for Storm. Coming back over to Black Widow, who's now flipped. Let's go with... Okay, that'll work. So we'll pay Beast, Covert Ops, and Attack-Robatics to play Dance of Death to make the following 3 attacks in order. Deal 1 damage to an enemy, then 2, then 3. First things first, bye-bye Hydra Soldier, and then we'll deal 5 damage to Absorbing Man with the next 2 attacks. Let's see. Then I think she's going to flip as well. We'll have to plan on at least having Storm heal a bit next turn. So that will ready everybody up. We also get a full grip of cards coming out of this turn. Storm is going to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am very happy to see Storm's Cape coming into the hand here. Yep. And then Black Widow is going to draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oop. Okay. All right, that'll work. And I don't completely hate the hand. So that will bring us back to Absorbing Man's turn, so he puts 1 threat on the main scheme. He's scheming against both of us, scheming for 1+ card. So 1+1 is 2 more threat, which brings Absorbing Man up to 5. Then scheming against Storm, once again for 1+ card. 1+1 is 2 threat. And now we deal encounter cards. First up for Natasha Romanoff, we've got a Hydra Patrol. So 2 per investigator, aka 4 threat. We'll use black dice to represent that. Hydra soldiers perform routine patrols to maintain control of their... Oh, we should have had 2 more threat. From the +1 scheme from the ball and chain. So we're actually up to 9 threat. But when defeated, each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a Hydra minion and puts it into play engaged with them. Shuffle the deck. So we'll put that up with the other schemes. The dial, remember, is only for the main scheme. And then Storm will draw an Avalanche, which gives us an acceleration. When revealed, each player must choose to either spend an energy resource or take 2 indirect damage. 3 instead if there are 5 or more delay counters on the main scheme. So there should be actually 3 delay counters on the main scheme. So either spend an energy resource or take 2 indirect damage. I think Black Widow is going to spend Stinger to pay for that. As for Storm, she'll spend an Into the Fray for that. Because that is an energy resource in the hand. So that's also got 4 threat on it. But we need to clear the Hydra Patrol before we can even go after the main scheme. None shall pass. 4 threat. That'll bring us over to Natasha Romanoff as our first player. Let's see. Our first order of business should probably be to get that ball and chain shuffled back into the deck. So I'm going to use an Effective Leadership, which is a wild resource. When I spend this card to play an ally, that ally gets +1 thwart and +1 attack until the end of the phase. I'm not spending it to play an ally. I'm spending it to shuffle this thing back into the deck. So we'll give the ball and chain a shuffle. We'll give that a cut. Okay, now let's see what we want to do here. Remove 4 threat from a scheme and confuse the villain. Okay, unfortunately that would empty my hand. But I think we're going to do... After you play a preparation card, draw 1 card. Unfortunately, we've got exactly no preparation cards in hand. And given that we're on Stalwart right now, confusing the villain isn't going to do much. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to spend a ready action, or a ready for action, to play out Black Widow's Gauntlet, which is a tech card but not a preparation. As a resource, I can exhaust Black Widow's Gauntlet to gain a wild resource for a preparation card. Not only are they lethal, but they look good too. Black Widow. Yeah, I think we will... I think she's going to flip back to Black Widow, and we'll thwart for 2 threat off the Hydra Patrol. And then that will do it for Black Widow's turn. As for Storm, her first order of business is healing for 3. That'll bring her up to 7. Then she's going to pay a Strength and a Blast of Wind for 3 resources to play Storm's Cape. She gets +1 defense and gains the aerial trait. On a hero response, after you resolve the special ability on your weather support, exhaust Storm's Cape to ready her. So I'm going to... Let's see. Each character gains Retaliate 1. Special to remove 2 threat from a scheme. Okay, so I think we are going to flip into Storm. Are we going to flip into Storm? We could definitely work on clearing some of these schemes out. We probably should. So I will flip into Storm. We're going to have to probably plan on defending this turn. Then I'll use her weather effect on her card to flip into Hurricane to give each character Retaliate 1 and remove 2 threat from a scheme. We'll get rid of the Hydra Patrol. Then we'll exhaust the Storm's Cape to ready Storm. Let's see. Then we're going to thwart for another 2 to work on the Avalanche. And after that, we're going to use Weather Goddess to switch. We're going to play Weather Goddess to switch over to Blizzard to give each character -1 attack, and the minion part is not going to be relevant. And then that will do it for our turn. So everybody is going to go ahead and ready up. We're both back on hero side, so we're going to have to be very careful here. I think we are okay drawing 3 cards now. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. That will work. And then Storm is going to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alrighty then. Alright, so now we put another threat up on the main scheme. We're up to 10. And we get a delay counter on None Shall Pass. He's attacking against Black Widow. It's going to be 1+ card. I think she will... Let's see, discard 1 resource card. She's not going to defend this one. So she'll take 1 + 1 is 2. So Black Widow will go down to 6. And then she'll discard a resource card since we have 4 delay counters on the main scheme. So she'll discard Inspired. And then Storm is taking 1+ card as well. She will... she's not going to defend either. So she'll take 1+... Put this card into play, so 1. Force response after he makes an attack. After he makes an undefended attack against you, take 1 indirect damage. 2 instead if there are 5 or more delay counters on the main scheme. So he's effectively dealing 2 damage. So Storm's down to 5, and she's got to discard a card. She will discard a resource. She'll discard, you'll pay for that. Then we've got encounter cards getting dealt out. Black Widow up first. She will find Steel Kick. When revealed, hero. Take 3 indirect damage. 4 instead if Absorbing Man has the metal trait. Yowza. Yeah. I think we're just going to take that to the face because I'm trying to use Grappling Hook to guard against Shadows of the Past coming out. So yeah, we'll sit on that, and then Storm will reveal. Oh no, her obligation, Claustrophobia, which has to flip to Alter Ego. She can't change forms. As an Alter Ego action, I'd have to exhaust her to remove the card from the game. That's just great. Storm is back to being our first player, which we might be able to make that card F off here, and I think we will. So we'll go ahead and exhaust that to remove Claustrophobia from the game. Let's see. Then I've got to be on hero side to... Oh, this is great. I've got to be on hero side to generate the resource from Storm's crown, but I have to be on Alter Ego side to heal from it. That's delightful. Let's see. What do we want to do here? Unfortunately, I don't have another Weather Goddess to change the form back. Yikes. So I think we will flip over to... Are we going to flip is the question. I think the answer to that is going to be no. I'm going to use the Clobber, which I really wanted to keep, to play Aurora's Garden. As an alter ego action, I can exhaust Aurora's Garden to heal 2 damage from my identity. The true measure of life is in the living, Storm. We'll exhaust that to heal Storm for 2. And then I will sit on the rest of her hand. This is kind of just a buying our time kind of turn. As for Black Widow, she is going to... which one do I want to play? We're going to play out Attack Acrobatics to play Widow's Bite. It's a preparation card which will ping Absorbing Man for 1. I know I was terrible about remembering Storm's or Black Widow's preparation cards the last time I played her. Hero response. After a minion enters play, discard Widow's Bite to deal 2 damage to that minion and stun it. Nighty-night, Black Widow. Unfortunately, she's going to be on alter ego form as well, and then she's going to exhaust and heal for 3. This is probably a good turn to just sit tight. So that will do it. We'll ready everybody up. We're probably going to need to get rid of some of this threat. Black Widow is going to draw 4 cards. We are in danger. If the right cards come up, we are in danger of just having him scheme out on us. And these cards are pretty much El Hot Garbaggio. What I'm reading out of most of those cards for Black Widow is resources. Storm is going to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. So we put another 2 threat on the scheme because we do have an acceleration icon in play from Avalanche. Scheming against both of us, he's scheming for 1+ card. 1+1 is 2 more threats. So we do need to be very careful again. We're going to need to get this scheme under control pretty quickly. Storm is going to scheme for 1+ card. 1+2 is 3, and I'm not sorry at all to see Shadows of the Past go away. That was the card I was trying to guard against. Let's see, that is a hero response. So unfortunately, if we get any minions now, we are going to take them to the face. Actually, Storm was our first player, so I should have revealed hers first, but it doesn't really matter. Storm will draw. When revealed, she's stunned. If Absorbing Man has the ice trait, take 2 indirect damage. And then Black Widow reveals a Steel Kick. When revealed an alter ego side, place 2 threat on the main scheme, 3 instead if he's got the metal trait, and he does not. So we need to get this scheme under control. With that in mind, let's go with let's start off with a plan of attack to search the top 4 cards of her deck, 7 since she's an alter ego, for an attack event, and add it to her hand, then shuffle. Let's see what we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looking for an attack event, and we find... I think we got to take Into the Fray here, just in case we get minions out. We also really need to get this. We also need to really get these schemes under control, which I think Storm's going to do a little bit with that this round. So with that in mind, all right, she is going to exhaust the garden to heal for 2 since she's still on alter ego side. Then she's going to flip into Storm. Then she's going to thwart for 2. We'll get rid of the Avalanche with that. Then for her next order of business, she is going to use her weather ability to switch us into Do I switch over to Stalwart or Clear Skies and clear her stun? Or do I switch into, I think either way, it's going to be helpful for us. I think we go into, I think we go into Clear Sky. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. Yeah, I think we're going to go to Hurricane, which will let me remove 2 threat from a scheme. That'll be the main scheme, of course. And then since I resolved a weather ability, we'll exhaust Storm's Cape to ready her. Then I'll thwart for another 2 to bring that down to 15. Then we are going to use an energy. We're going to use an energy and a flash freeze for 3 resources to play out a lightning bolt to deal 8 damage as an hero action, to deal 8 damage to an enemy. If Thunderstorm is in... Actually, hold on. We're not going to do that instead because that would actually count as an attack to trigger Storm's stun. So that was actually really dumb, but we needed to get that scheme under control pretty badly. So I think we're just going to leave everything in hand for the time being. As for Black Widow, actually, what is she going to do? I don't... yeah, that's going to be fine. As for Black Widow, coming over to her turn, she is going to... Yikes, I'm not sure I can afford to have both characters. Well, I think I'd rather right now have both characters on hero side than alter ego, because I don't want to be putting a lot of threat up. So she's going to heal for 3 to go up to 9. Then she's going to flip. Then since we're not in Stalwart, I can pay a strength and a ready for action to play a covert ops to remove 4 threat from a scheme and confuse the villain. It's all about calculating how willfully blind a person is going to be and then exploiting that. Natasha Romanoff. So he is confused, which means now we can afford to have at least one of them flip over. Let's see, that was not a preparation card, unfortunately. And Black Widow's hand is pretty much garbage otherwise. So I think we're going to call that a turn there. We'll ready everybody up. Storm, I think, is all fine. We are going to have the next card, or the next level of the effects trigger on the environment card. Black Widow is going to discard 2 cards and draw 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, I don't... Alright, this actually probably works out a bit better. Let's see, the question is, can I get both of these cards into play? And I think the answer to that is yes. I'm just figuring out how I want to do that. So 2, 3, and 2. Okay, perfect. All right, now that I got that figured out, we're going to put 1 threat up on the main scheme along with another delay counter. Then he's going to attack Storm. She will... She's going to defend it. So she's taking right now 2+ card. And that's going to be boost to reveal this card. Super Absorbing Power. Yikes. So that's a Super Absorbing Power. Creel has the ability to absorb the properties of multiple elements at once, but it requires intense concentration. Absorbing Man gains the ice, metal, stone, and wood traits. Gross. So that's got 6 threat on it. That needs to go, like, pronto. But Storm is taking... But more importantly, she's taking no damage from that. I assume that would stay in play. Black Widow is... also going to defend because I need her hand. I need her hand to be intact for what I'm doing for this. So she's taking 2+ card. And the ball and chain's back again, so she's taking 1 damage out of that. And now we've got encounter cards. Storm flips over. Snowy Hillside, which has got Surge. So after he makes an undefended attack against us now, place a threat on the main scheme, 2 threat instead if there are 5 or more delay counters on the main scheme. And then that's got Surge, which reveals into that. Yikes. All right, if discard 1 card at random from your hand, and if he has the wood trait, which he does, discard 1 card you control. This could be very, very bad. And Storm's got no way to cancel this. That's not good. So we're losing a random card from her hand as I send 2 flying. So let's see what we get here. And we'll take that card, Moment of Triumph. That's not the worst card I could have lost, but it is a threat. But it is another resource, which is moderately annoying. And we have to discard a card we control. I think that's going to be Aurora's Garden. We are getting ready to reshuffle pretty soon. As for Black Widow, she's going to flip over Omnimorph Duplication, which would do everything on there. If he has the Ice trait, which he does, exhaust your identity. Metal trait, give him a tough status card and heal 1 damage from him. Stone trait, give him a face down boost card. Wood trait, discard a card at random from your hand. Grappling hook says, yeah, right. So we're going to throw that away. So we're going to cancel the effect of that treachery and discard. And then since we triggered a preparation, we get to deal a damage, which will deal a damage to Absorbing Man. So we need to get rid of that super absorbing power like pronto. Like even faster than pronto, I would say. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pay a power of leadership and an inspiring presence. And we can double the resources if we're playing a leadership card because we're playing Hawkeye Clint Barton. He enters play with 4 arrow counters on him. Response: after a minion enters play, remove an arrow counter from Hawkeye to deal 2 damage to that minion. So we'll get a die out for his 4 arrow counters. He's also got 3 health, which I'll use red dice for health. He will thwart the super absorbing power for 1 threat, which will deal a damage to him. Again, we need to get that thing gone like now. Let's see. Then she's going to use an energy to pay for another grappling hook. So that's the same thing we used to stop the Omnimorph duplication earlier. Let's see. Actually, we could have used the Black Widow's Gauntlet to generate a resource for that, but I think it's fine here that we did it this way. Besides, she ends up just as Jazz Hands anyway. She's confused, though, so... Well, the Absorbing Man is confused, so next time he would scheme, we can have one of them pass a turn on hero side, and I think that one is going to be Black Widow, so she can flip, so she can get a full grip of cards coming out of this. As for Storm, I think she's going to start with a... I don't want to flip to Clear Skies, because that would clear his confused as well. So I'm going to use the weather effect when I'm deciding where I want to go. I think we're going to go to Thunderstorm, which will deal 2 damage to an enemy. That'll deal 2 damage to Absorbing Man, bringing him down to 8. And then since I triggered the special effect, I can exhaust Storm's cape to ready her. Then I'm going to... What do I want to do here? Then I'm going to ping the stunned off. And I'm going to pay a flash freeze. Actually, we're going to pay an Into the Fray and a Genius to play a Lightning Bolt to deal 8 damage to an enemy. If Thunderstorm is in play, resolve its special ability. Do you know what happens to a villain when it's struck by lightning? Storm. Well, we're going to find out because Absorbing Man now is going to flip into stage 2. So stage 2, when revealed, if the super absorbing power is in play, unfortunately it is. So we're going to deal 1 encounter card to each player. Otherwise, search the encounter deck and discard pile for super absorbing power and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck if it was searched this way. It was not, so each player gets an encounter card. He also goes up to 30 HP. So yeah, that could be a little bit of a problem here. But unfortunately, that is, well, we can't generate the resources for that, so we're going to have to ready everybody up. All right, then, since Natasha was first player, she gets a full grip of 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That seems moderately useful, at least. Then Storm is going to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay, not complete garbage, only mostly garbage. So we're putting 2 threat up on the main scheme. He would try to scheme against Black Widow, but he's confused, so confused goes away instead. As for Storm, as for his attack on Storm, she's going to have to defend this attack. She's got 2 defense, so she's taking 3 plus card because of Thunderstorm. Once you account for defense, boost. As a boost card, if there are 5 or more delay counters on the main scheme, and there are, once I remember to put it up to 6, take 1 indirect damage. So Storm takes the 1 indirect damage anyway. And then from the attack, she takes 3 defense for 2, so she takes 1. Joy, joy. Now things are going to start to get fun. So each of our ladies has 2 encounter cards that they're going to have to deal with. So our first encounter card for Black Widow is Advance. When revealed, the villain schemes. He's scheming for 3 plus cards, so he's scheming for 3, which will bring him up to 17 threat. Then Storm's first card, when revealed, Alter Ego. So he's going to attack. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to defend this attack. So he's attacking for 3 plus card. 3 plus 1 is 4 damage, so that brings Storm down to 3. She's got a discard. Actually, she has to take a threat on the main scheme. Actually, 2, since there are 5. So that brings us up to 19. And now for Natasha's second card. She's got a Hydra regular. When this card is revealed, place 1 threat on the main scheme. That brings us up to 20. But I think Hawkeye is going to say... Actually... Yeah, Hawkeye is just going to make him say... They're just going to make him say nighty-night. And then Storm will reveal Assault. The villain attacks. Oh, joy. Storm is going to be taken out. Let's see how bad the damage is. He's dealing 3 plus card, putting the Rocky Outcrop into play. So after he makes an undefended attack, heal 1 damage from him. He's already at full health for the stage, so Storm is taken out, and now it's all on It's now all on Natasha Romanoff. This is great. So we've got a big problem on our hands. Yikes. Are we going to be able to race one... Are we going to be able to race 1 threat per turn? After you trigger... I've not been paying attention to Synth Suit either. So I think we're going to flip into Black Widow. Then we're going to... Let's play a... Let's spend a get ready to play another Widow's Bite. I need those... Basically, I need these minions to stay out of my way. I mean, I've got a lot of minion protection coming up here. Then we're going to thwart for we're going to thwart for 2 to bring the main... Actually, we're going to thwart super absorbing power for 2. Unfortunately, I think we're just going to have to take the scheme... We're going to have to take the all 4 traits to the face. We've got to keep the main scheme under control. If he gets just the right cards, he's got the potential to scheme out. And we definitely have to race at this point. So we're going to pay our other 3 for another Dance of Death, which will deal 6 damage to... Actually, let me look at that again. Let's see what I've got left in my hand. Because I don't think I want that ball and chain hitting me in the face. Although there's only 2 cards left in the deck. So I think the better play is just to let us get domed by it now. That way, when the deck shuffles, because it's going to need to shuffle in a second, when we get rid of it the next time, it'll go back in the deck with everything else. So that will do it for Black Widow's turn. She will unexhaust and draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That's not total garbage, just mostly garbage, once again. All right, then he gets 1 threat on the main scheme. Let's see, if he makes an undefended attack. So that's 7 threat on the... So he's attacking. We're going to throw... I probably would have used Hawkeye to thwart another threat off the scheme. We'll use it. We'll have to throw him in the way of this, unfortunately. So 3 plus card is going to be 6 threats. So Hawkeye is very much annihilated. And then we've got our last card, which will put an acceleration marker on the main scheme. So I'll get that out here. That puts an acceleration marker there. We shuffle this. Right, just giving the encounter deck a shuffle and a cut. And let's see what our encounter card is for Black Widow. When revealed, the villain schemes. He's scheming for 3 plus card. Let's not do that. We're going to use the grappling hook to cancel advance, and then we'll deal a damage to Absorbing Man. I know. 1 damage. Whoopee. We've got bigger problems on our hands. So, I think with that in mind, we're going to pay a Black Widow's Gauntlet to play a Safe House 29. As an alter ego action, exhaust Safe House 29. Actually, that's a terrible play. Actually, is that a terrible play? Because we can't afford to flip right now that we've already put a... We can't afford to flip now that there's an acceleration marker on the main scheme. Yeah, it's... We've got big problems here no matter how we do this. Yeah, it's probably fine. Exhaust it to choose a preparation card in your discard pile, add it to your hand. We should be safe here. Black Widow. Okay, well, I think we'll use a... We'll thwart for 2. We need to get that scheme under control. Then we'll use a Power of Leadership to play Maria Hill. Thwarts for 2, attacks for 1. After she enters play, each player draws a card. Believe it or not, we all want the same thing. Okay, we can take quite a bit of threat off the scheme, which I think will have Maria thwart for 2 on the main scheme just to keep that under control. Then I'll use a Get Ready to ready Maria, and then thwart again to bring the scheme down to 13. Maria will be defeated by that, though. I didn't forget about doing all of that. Let's see. And then I think, yeah, we have to stay on... We are going to have to stay on Hero's side. So yeah, we're going to discard Moxie because we're not changing forms, and we're going to draw 5 cards. 1, 2. I'm dealing myself an encounter card because I do have to shuffle Black Widow's deck. And she should ready. Three, 4, 5. Okay. Gets 2 threat at the start of his turn. We put a delay counter on Absorbing Man. He's attacking for 3+ card. Black Widow is going to defend that because I don't want to heal. So 3+. Oh, yikes. 1 is 4. He's got all the traits, so we're also stunned. We defended for 3, so we take 1. Okay. And then we've got 2 encounter cards that she's got to live through. First up is Assault. When revealed, the villain attacks. He's making an undefended attack this time, 3+ card, so 3+ 0 is 3, which brings Black Widow down to 4. Actually, wait a second. Yeah, the +1 is 4. So that brings her down to 3. And then we heal 2 damage from him, since there are 5 delay counters. Then the next card, when revealed, discard 1 card at random from your hand. If he's got the wood trait, and he does, we also discard a card we control. The card we control that we're discarding is going to be the Safe House. Right, and then we are discarding... Oh, no! We lost the Dance of Death. That is bad. Which basically makes her turn pretty much El Hot Garbaggio, unless I want to flip and risk him scheming out to get a full grip of cards. Gross, gross, gross. And I didn't have a grappling hook to stop that, plus Shadows of the Past is now back in the deck. So we've got about 1 million problems on our hands. Which I think, unfortunately, that is going to be the plan, because we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. We are going to flip her to Alter Ego side. I'm going to have to risk him scheming out on us, because, again, just the right combination of cards, and he will scheme out on us. So we'll ready up. Then we're going to discard. Losing that Dance of Death really hurts. So we're going to discard 3 cards and draw 5. 3, 4, 5. We are just not drawing the cards we need today. He gets 2 threat on the main scheme, another delay counter. He's scheming for 3+ card. 3 + 2 is 5 threat, and now we're in very real danger of him scheming out. So, encounter card for Natasha Romanoff. When revealed, you're stunned. If Absorbing Man has the ice trait, and he does, take 2 direct damage. So we're double stunned at this point. We're actually already stunned. So we take 2 indirect damage, which we have to put on Black. Actually, indirect. Let me just double check, but cannot be assigned more damage than it would take to defeat it. Okay, so yeah, we're just... Problem is, we're caught between a rock and a hard place in this one. If we stay, we literally cannot win at this point, because he's dealing 3+ card. We're literally screwed here. Because the problem is, like I said, we can't flip. The problem is, we can't really do anything here. We can't flip. And we're stuck here. If we flip, he's going to probably damage us out. if we stay in alter ego form, he's going to scheme out in the initial threat. So I think that's where we're going to call it. That'll do it for this playthrough of Marvel Champions. That was highly problematic. So kind of in a very large rambly word salad there. I may leave this set up. We may come back to this for another session a little bit later tonight. We may bring Phoenix back out to see if she does any better. Or I've just got some stuff that I picked up from the game store today that we may crack on the channel. We might do a little bit of both. I still actually have quite a bit of time. I'm just checking my timer on Mystical Munchies. Actually, we may come right back to this. I'm going to take a small break and decide what I want to do. But that will do it for now. So stay close to the channel. I may be back very shortly. As for what I've got scheduled on the channel, like I said, Mystical Munchies is going to go up later tonight with the dessert out of the Magic of the Gathering Cuisines of the Multiverse cookbook, as we're doing Life of the Party. And then tomorrow is going to be a baseball kind of day. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be going to 2011 for both games tomorrow. First, we're going to be playing a game of Inside Pitch Baseball by Inside Sports Games. And then tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be debuting a new baseball game on the channel as we play Fall Classic Baseball. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then,